You know, when you look at things, chums, and you think, okay, you know, how does this look on the bigger page? That's exactly what you should do if you're working in the world of, well, the difficult world, shall we say, of marketing, PR, that sort of stuff. And when you look a little bit deeper at any celebrity now that's recommended anything to you, often think, well, what are they getting for that? You know, the sort of thing where you read in a magazine and they say, speaking on behalf of X Awareness Week or whatever. The celebrity is the ambassador. They're being paid to pop up on television, tell you about it, but they want to tell you because no, they really care and it's something very close to their heart, more close to their wallet. Can the same now be said, of course, for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? Cutting a shilling, of course, by doing this. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today, and as ever, welcome one and all. Nice to see you. It's a hard world in show business right now because, as I've told you, sorry, with Novelised Wave, it's a hard world though because television is cutting right down, you know, and the problem is celebrity endorsements don't necessarily work. Meghan Markle has 4.1 million people following her on Instagram, but it's not really translating into sales. If it was, she'd be through the roof with her jams, but it's not happening, right? And where it gets interesting is it's harder then to pick up the checks because, as we saw, everybody has a political stance. You know, Prince Harry just opens his mouth and it all looks bad. He says the wrong thing, and that's very hard for a brand to be aligned to. Some of the bigger brands like Jaguar and stuff like that, you know, when you think they've gone woke and gone broke, so they don't understand exactly what they're doing. You know, something like English Heritage and Historic England, places like that, they get it wrong and it just turns off the people, meaning there's less money in the pot. Of course, when you're celebrating an iconic thing like Disney, well, you want to pull out all the stops, don't you? But do you have the budget? Well, this is what happened, you see, with Meghan and Harry. Well, they celebrated Disney's anniversary. ABC Disney, of course, are the same company. And Bob Iger, well, if you remember him, Harry begged for work from him on the red carpet rather than going to see an event for the Army veterans. Let's not forget that. And what was interesting is he's saying, oh, my wife does voiceovers and, you know, Bob was all this. Well, anyway, cut a long story short, as we saw earlier this year, Meghan and Harry, well, were delighted to take their children, albeit pixelated, to Disney. And it was like, oh, marvellous, they're just terrific. Yeah, wonderful. And then suddenly you think, right, okay, because this, of course, if you noted, was when the park was closed down. There were no other people around them and they were given very much special privileges. Nothing wrong with that. Now, according to a very well-placed source, and again, you have to say allegedly, now Meghan Markle pop up alongside Prince Harry to gush in a very short clip about exactly why they like Disney and their favourite rides at the park and why it means so much to them as a family. It just reeks of, well, basically, you know, we've been paid. And the real deal about it was, and this is where it gets really interesting, is clearly they've got some sort of contra deal because they got free accommodation, free flights, park closed down, special privileges, and what they had to do was post stuff on Instagram and let the world know. That publicity for Disney is worth so much money. Whether it transcends into people going into, you know, stay with the park or not, it doesn't matter. It puts Disney in a good light, particularly after the debacle with Rachel Zegler's Snow White, where she literally lost the company millions simply because she decided she didn't like playing it as a person as it was and decided to make Snow White woke. You get the picture. Moving forward now, of course, this is a test because if Disney goes up and they start to sell more and that particular cameo is received very well, then it's very clear that Meghan and Harry are going to let it be known that they're more than happy to align themselves with others. You get the picture. Now, the other idea of this is, of course, it's the start of basically influence branding. It can only go so long though, and remember this one thing, and this is the interesting bit. Disney would have very much liked to have their children included in that, given the hefty deal that they offered. But again, at the 11th hour, that wasn't possible. And also, they insisted that the former royal known as the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, 100% had to be in that video. Meghan thought she could go it alone. Even Disney realised she's the Duchess of Disaster, and that's not going to sell anything. Yes, it would get clicks, and then get a lot of bad press. So by having Harry in the picture gushing alongside her, well, at least they were sure of somebody being rather positive. You see how marketing for the influencer and, of course, failed entrepreneurs work now? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.